Today, our group will be presenting our Agrellus Proving Ground project. I'm Wilson Johnson.
I'm Eric Daniels.
I'm Taylor Gillett.
I'm Sadie Hardison.
So to start off, we're going to give an outline of kind of what we're going to be talking about presenting today. To start off, we're going to give a description and an overview of the case. Next, we're going to talk about industry trends and key success factors. After that, we'll move into a problem statement, followed by a strategic analysis. Next, we'll give our personal recommendations, and then follow that with a way to maybe implement those recommendations that we offer. Then lastly, we'll finish off with a conclusion. So to start off, what is Agrellus Proving Ground? Well, Agrellus Proving Ground conducts farm-scale trials to ensure product viability and real-world results on performance. These trials are built to think like a farmer. Farmers need to know the different products, need to know that these different products actually perform on the farm, and they need to access these products. So there's three phases to this. Basically, you have your agricultural manufacturers who produce and manufacture the products that then goes to Agrellus Proving Ground, where we test them and verify the products, give them credibility, and then we help market those to your agricultural producers. So next, important trends in the industry. First and foremost, one that affects everybody, especially the farming industry, is inflation, rising costs of agricultural inputs. So it's important to analyze this and find ways to combat inflation within the industry. Next, sustainability, improve the use of a resource. Lots of resources go into farming, and finding ways to sustain these resources is not only going to help your everyday farmer, but it's also going to help your manufacturers and us also. Next, automation, decrease costs, increase productivity. So we constantly need to be, trying to figure out ways to decrease costs for ourselves, for farmers, and then also increase productivity. Next, regenerative. We need to reduce inputs with production practices. So constantly working at reducing your inputs is going to be a big key factor here. And then lastly, water management. It doesn't matter what you farm. If you're a farmer in the agricultural industry, you're going to need water, right? And so that's a scarce resource. And so figuring out ways to manage water and make it more available to more farmers is going to help everybody out. So next, we can discuss key success factors for Agrellus. So first and foremost, we need full commitment to trials from farm leaders. So these people that are conducting these trials for us, we need their full commitment. They need to be all in. That's going to help us and them both be successful. High flexibility of changing conditions. We live in an evolving world. Things are constantly changing, and it's important for Agrellus to be flexible and adapt to change. Next, anticipate market needs of agricultural producers. So we constantly be kind of anticipating what might happen, looking into what's going on now. That's going to keep us ahead of the game and, doing well, which kind of leads us to the next point, looking ahead for future concerns. Like I said, it's important to always be looking ahead, trying to stay on top of things, being ahead of the game. That's a key factor that's going to help Agrellus be successful. Next, continuous improvement of business strategies. That's crucial for the success of Agrellus. I think it's important that they take some time to come together and say, this is our current business strategy. This is the results we've gotten from it. These are our weak points. This is where we need to improve. That's an important, topic to discuss. Then lastly, high quality service in a niche market. So the market that Agrellus operates in, it's a niche market, right? So one of the things that's going to set Agrellus apart from everybody else doing similar things, such as universities, et cetera, is high quality service, right? We need to be known for having products that, we truly have tested and that will work and that will benefit farmers. That's what's going to bring in more customers.
Next, we have our problem statement, our problem we want to help Agrellus solve, and that is to evaluate how Agrellus can increase the number of farm leaders participating in the Proving Ground research trials across the U.S. So the target market that our group thinks that Agrellus Proving Ground needs is we need agriculture producers all around the United States. And we're looking for producers that grow different commodities. And within the different commodities, we want to find producers that use different production practices. And that'd be in different soils across different regions, irrigated, non-irrigated, small farms, large farms, young farmers, older farmers. Agrellus Proving Ground wants to form long-term partnerships with producers throughout the U.S. and they want to conduct a split style field trial on their different products they're wanting to test. So that would be our target market. The strengths of Agrellus Proving Ground is that they're independent, they're unbiased. They want to allow the manufacturers to demonstrate the value of their innovations while they gain market access. Agrellus Proving Ground, it's innovative. The farm scale trials are 100% managed and certified by Agrellus. Proving Ground provides market concentration, data access, reliability, and understanding to consumers and manufacturers for all these products that are being tested by Agrellus. And Proving Ground offers value to agriculture retailers and manufacturers through their research trials. The weaknesses, Proving Ground needs more manufacturers and more products to continue to innovate and grow this section of their business. Proving Ground needs to create and implement a new strategy to recruit farm leaders and manufacturers to take part. Brand recognition of Proving Ground in the agriculture industry. It will take time for producers to learn about Agrellus and the products. And then there's lack of trust in Proving Ground trials for manufacturers and the producers, specifically in the older generation of the producers. Some opportunities of Proving Ground is that there's potential to provide research trials in a wider range of agriculture inputs, equipment, and there's more quantity there to increase the business of Proving Ground. And Agrellus could start going to different conferences to reach out to manufacturers. And they can also find other farm leaders at those conferences that want to be a part of the Agrellus Proving Ground business. They can create an online presence through social media, websites, digital ads, etc. They can offer discounts for collaborations and partnerships with new manufacturers. And this will help build relationships with those bigger manufacturers and the different companies there. Some threats of Proving Ground is their product and their services are certified by Proving Ground, so there's not a lot of success there at the industry level. The potential for a product that was certified by Agrellus Proving Ground may not be performing at the same level on other farms. There's some inconsistency across research companies that discredit Proving Ground. So like our university studies and our independent trials may not match what Agrellus Proving Ground finds as their results. So these could lead to some more confusion for producers. Insignificant funds to continue operating Proving Ground. And this can be a long-term problem for Agrellus. And the threat of an established manufacturer to take this business model and implement it themselves. This could ultimately cut out Proving Ground. In our Five Forces model, we have the rivalry is really low. And it's real low just because unless the manufacturers want to do this Proving Ground concept themselves, there's no other rivals really, besides the university studies and some independent studies. The substitutes are low, the buyer power is high, the supplier power is high, and the threat of entry is low.
So hi, my name is Taylor, as I said earlier, and today I'll be going over the concerns and recommendations for our group. So our main priority concerning our problem statement is increasing the number of farm leaders. So currently, Proving Ground has 50 farm leaders. Increasing this year after year is vital for the success of Proving Ground as a whole. Engaging more farm leaders across the United States is also a main concern for Proving Ground. Proving Ground research trials are currently taking place in 4 states: Texas, South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Expanding the research trials across more states will allow for Proving Ground to grow and diversify the types of trials they're doing, as well as have access to more farm leaders, helping our problem. In increasing the number of farm leaders growing, we will also have to grow the acceptance of Agrellus Proving Ground data. This data will be important for reliability and having people trust our products. So in order to increase Proving Ground farm leaders, the farm leaders will need to recognize and trust the company. So brand recognition is very important. Also, in increasing the number of farm leaders, we will need to maintain retention with our current farm leaders. Currently, retention is 100% with farm leaders from year to year with Agrellus. And as the company grows, this will be difficult to maintain at 100%, but keeping a low turnover among the farm leaders is important for recruiting new ones, just so we can have that reliability and trust in the market. Other concerns that are related to our problem statement will be capacity constraints of our current company. Ensuring the company can handle increases in the number of farm leaders will be very important, as well as the research trials. So if our company can't handle growing numbers of farm leaders, we will need to be sure they can, just so we're taking part and taking care of all of our farm leaders. The number of research trials conducted by Proving Ground will also need to increase as the number of farm leaders increase. If there are not enough trials to have for all the farm leaders, then increasing the number of farm leaders will not necessarily help the company. It will honestly hurt it. So keeping in contact with the manufacturers and the companies we're doing research for will be very important. The current marketing strategy will also need to shift to recruiting more farm leaders for Agrellus. Increasing brand recognition across the United States is very important for the longevity of Proving Ground and Agrellus as a whole. So our recommendations our team has come up with are all aimed at increasing the number of farm leaders. So first, we believe we need to create an incentive for farm leaders, and this can include offering a monetary incentive outside of the current grant offerings that are available, which we think are great, but we need to add something else. So this could be creating a discount in the marketplace for farm leaders, or creating an opportunity for referral, also helping recruit more farm leaders. Then we'll need to establish partnership with companies. We are already signing contracts with other companies to have farm research trials, but we think this is very important to continue to do to guarantee the number of research trials available to the farm leaders. As we mentioned earlier, if there are not any trials to take part in, the increasing number of farm leaders will not necessarily help the company. As I said, they're already signing contracts, but maybe signing long-term contracts will be important, so we have that guarantee of research trials. Also, our next recommendation is establishing a partnership with a university. Expanding research trials beyond farm-scale trials to lab trials could be a way for Proving Ground to expand and gain a different type of farm leader. Funding research grants at the university level will help Proving Ground expand the business while also remaining true to their values of an unbiased, trusted trial. And lastly, engaging in more content marketing towards farm leaders will aid in increasing the number of farm leaders. So engaging in more modern marketing like social media websites, ads, all targeted at recruiting farm leaders will be very important. Right now, they are doing that, but just increasing it and again, having more of a social media presence will help recruit more farmers. We also believe in establishing relationships at the local level through either an extension service or commodity group. This will allow Agrellus to go and tell them about their company and tell them what Proving Ground is and help recruit more farm leaders. This could also reach out to companies and manufacturers as well when you're doing this, so you would be helping both of those aspects. And then also just taking part in farm and ranch shows across the country. This is just helping get Agrellus Proving Ground out there with brand recognition, and this could also aid in forming relationships with other companies in gaining more research trials.
So implementation, first we'll need to develop a plan, and in order to develop a successful plan and implement that plan, it is important to keep it as simple as possible. This means being very transparent, ensuring that there's no gray areas that can be interpreted in many different ways. Assigning a team is also important. Creating and assigning a team to implement the recommendations previously described is important. This team can be required to report their progress monthly so that any problems or questions can be resolved and addressed. Establishing benchmarks throughout the implementation process will keep things from moving off course. Also, this will allow Agrellus Proving Ground to make necessary adjustments to the plans as needed. Creating metrics in order to conduct and examine benchmarks and for them to be successful throughout the implementation process, we have to determine specific metrics. This will develop both quantitative and qualitative data that can be used to directly aid throughout the entire project. So targeting the target market, who is the market? As discussed previously, the market consists of all agricultural producers that grow different agricultural commodities as well as agricultural products. By understanding the different commodities and soil types, irrigation, farm size, generation, this better equips us to have the knowledge to succeed in the farm trials and be better able to target that target market. How can we target this target market? Advertisement is one of the biggest things, as we know right now. By investing money and effort into digital advertising, by social media, billboards, or public presentations, as Taylor said previously. Offer incentives for those who recommend others to Agrellus. By offering incentive to those who recommend them, it kind of gives a push and makes others want to do it because they'll get something out of it, aside from what their products are already doing. Track customer activity and attempt to predict what they might need or want. Knowing what your customers need and what they want sets you apart from your competitors. And as we don't have many, we still do have some. So knowing what your customers want and tracking the activity will set you apart. The conclusion. Forming long-term relationships and partnerships across the United States to increase the number of farm leaders. With the number of new farm leaders being majority referrals, it is very important to form lasting relationships with successful trials and the impact of different commodities, soil types, and irrigations, and things that we had said before that would set you apart and increase the number of farm leaders. Acceptance of Agrellus Proving Ground. Acceptance is one of our main concerns, as this is new. Farm leaders are skeptical to try this, but with forming long-term relationships and joining partnerships with universities, having advertising, and getting our name out there more, we'd be able to have better successful trials, and it would no longer be a concern. Creating and implementing a successful plan. Developing a plan to increase the number of farm leaders is important because it allows you to have a step-by-step of what you want done and how to get it done. And as earlier said, you can adjust your plan as needed. The following information provided in this presentation is how we have analyzed and decided increasing the number of farm leaders participating in Agrellus Proving Ground research trials across the United States is achievable. Thank you.